Friends, I want to talk to you today about something that can change your life. How many times have you let someone's words, actions, or attitudes steal your peace? You wake up feeling good, but then somebody cuts you off in traffic, a coworker says something rude, or a family member pushes your buttons. Before you know it, you're frustrated, upset, and carrying that weight all day. But here's the good news. You don't have to live that way. You have the power to rise above offense. You have the ability to stay in peace no matter what others do. Because the truth is, no one can take your joy unless you give it to them. One of the biggest mistakes we make in life is allowing other people to control our emotions. We let someone's rude comment, bad attitude, or unfair treatment determine our mood. But here's the truth. You are in charge of your peace. No one can force you to be upset, frustrated, or offended unless you give them permission. The moment you allow someone to steal your joy, you've handed them the keys to your happiness. You've given them power over your life, but you don't have to live that way. You can make up your mind right now that no one, not a coworker, not a stranger, not even a family member, will have that kind of control over you. Think about it. If someone walked up to you and asked for your wallet, you wouldn't just hand it over without a fight. Why? Because what's in that wallet is valuable. It holds your money, your identification, and your cards. But can I tell you something? Your peace is far more valuable than what's in your wallet. Your joy is priceless. Yet so many of us give it away freely every single day. We let a stranger on the road make us mad. We let a sarcastic comment ruin our morning. We allow someone's bad mood to drag us down into frustration. It's time to stop handing over our peace so easily. The truth is, people are going to be people. Some will be kind and uplifting. Others will be negative and critical. You can't control how they act, but you can control how you respond. If someone says something rude to you, you don't have to get upset. If they disrespect you, you don't have to take it personally. That's their problem, not yours. They have to answer for their actions. You only have to answer for yours. When you choose to stay calm and refuse to let their negativity get inside of you, you're taking back your power. Think of it like this. Imagine someone hands you a gift, but you refuse to take it. If you don't accept it, it still belongs to them, right? The same thing applies to negativity and offense. If someone tries to hand you their bad attitude, their insults, their drama, you don't have to accept it. Let it go right past you. Keep your spirit clean. When you don't take the bait, you stay in control. You stay in peace. And nothing they do can ruin your day. You might say, but they were so rude. They disrespected me. I have a right to be angry. Yes, you do. But just because you have the right to be upset doesn't mean you should. Being angry won't change them. Being offended won't fix the situation. All it does is steal your joy and disrupt your peace. Why give someone that kind of influence over your life? They're not worth it. Your peace is too valuable to be handed over to just anyone. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, make a decision. I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm bigger than this. I refuse to give away my power. Maybe a coworker is talking about you behind your back. Instead of getting upset, smile and say, that's their issue, not mine. I'm going to stay focused and keep moving forward. Maybe a friend lets you down and you feel hurt. Instead of dwelling on it, say, I'm not going to let this offense take root. I choose peace. This is not about letting people walk all over you. This is about walking in wisdom. It's about knowing when to engage and when to let things go. Sometimes the best response is no response. Sometimes the greatest power is in refusing to react. If you learn to stay in control of your emotions, if you learn to walk away from unnecessary conflict, you will find a new level of freedom that you've never experienced before. So starting today, refuse to be controlled by others. Decide that no one will have the power to dictate your joy, your attitude, or your peace. Your emotions belong to you. Your happiness is in your hands. No more giving it away to people who don't deserve it. You are too strong, too blessed, and too favored to let someone else ruin your day. Your heart is the control center of your life. Whatever gets inside of it will eventually shape your thoughts, your actions, and your destiny. That's why you have to be extremely careful about what you allow in. In Proverbs, it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Notice that it doesn't say guard your money or guard your reputation. Those things are important, but the scripture says to guard your heart above all else. Why? Because your heart determines the course of your life. If you let the wrong things in, anger, bitterness, offense, eventually they will poison your spirit and hold you back from the peace and joy you were meant to have. Every day there will be opportunities to let negativity into your heart. Someone may say something hurtful. You may face a disappointment. A friend might betray your trust. If you're not careful, those things can take root in your heart and begin to weigh you down. You start thinking about it over and over. You replay the conversation in your mind. You let it fester, and before long it's affecting your mood, your relationships, and even your health. But the problem is not what they did to you. It's that you allowed it inside. You didn't guard your heart. Think of your heart like the front door to your home. You wouldn't just let anyone walk in off the street, sit on your couch, and make themselves comfortable. No, you decide who gets access. In the same way, you have to be selective about what you allow into your heart. Not everything and everyone deserves space there. You don't have to dwell on every negative comment. You don't have to meditate on every hurtful thing that happens. Some things you have to let go, not because they're right, but because your heart is too valuable to be contaminated. One of the biggest ways we fail to guard our hearts is by holding on to offense. Maybe someone wronged you, maybe they treated you unfairly. It's easy to let resentment build up and justify our anger, but if you're not careful, that offense will take root like a weed in your heart, choking out your joy and peace. Offense doesn't hurt the other person, it only poisons you. That's why you have to be quick to forgive and let go, not for their sake, but for yours. Another way to protect your heart is by being mindful of the company you keep. The people you surround yourself with will either build you up or tear you down. If you're constantly around negativity, gossip, or drama, it's going to seep into your spirit. You can't hang around the wrong crowd and expect to live a peaceful, joy-filled life. Be intentional about your relationships. Choose to be around people who encourage you, uplift you, and speak life into you. You also have to guard your heart against fear, doubt, and discouragement. We live in a world that constantly feeds us bad news, negative reports, and worst-case scenarios. If you're not careful, you'll let fear dictate your decisions and anxiety steal your peace. That's why you have to be mindful of what you expose yourself to. Fill your heart with faith, with gratitude, with the promises of God. When negative thoughts come, replace them with positive ones. When fear tries to creep in, remind yourself, I will not live in worry. I choose to trust. Guarding your heart doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending that challenges don't exist. It simply means being selective about what you allow to take root inside of you. You can acknowledge a difficult situation without letting it steal your peace. You can deal with a negative person without letting their negativity infect your spirit. You can experience hardship without letting it define you. At the end of the day, your heart is your responsibility. No one else is going to guard it for you. You have to be the one to set boundaries, to choose peace, to reject offense, and to keep your heart full of love and joy. If you make this a daily habit, you'll walk in a new level of freedom, clarity, and strength. You won't be weighed down by the negativity around you because your heart will be protected, full and overflowing with peace. One of the quickest ways to lose your peace is by expecting people to be perfect. We get frustrated when others let us down, when they say the wrong thing, when they don't meet our expectations. But the truth is, people are human. They have flaws, they have weaknesses, and sometimes they will disappoint us, not because they're bad people, but because they're imperfect, just like we are. If you go through life thinking everyone will always treat you right, you're setting yourself up for frustration. Some people are going to be rude. Some will be inconsiderate. Some will betray your trust. That's just life. But here's the key. Don't take it personally. Their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. When you expect people to be imperfect, you won't be surprised when they make mistakes. You won't let it steal your joy. Think about how much grace you need every day. There are times when you're tired and snap at someone. There are moments when you forget an important commitment. There are days when you don't show up as your best self. If we need grace, shouldn't we be willing to extend it to others instead of being shocked when people mess up? Make a decision. I'm going to give them the same grace I want when I fall short. Sometimes we put unrealistic expectations on others. We expect our spouse to always understand us. We expect our boss to always appreciate us. We expect our friends to always be there for us. But people can't read our minds. They have their own struggles, their own battles, their own weaknesses. If you go through life thinking people will always get it right, you'll be constantly disappointed. But when you expect imperfections, you'll have a heart that's ready to forgive, ready to move forward, and ready to keep your peace. This doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you ignore unhealthy relationships, but it does mean you stop letting other people's imperfections ruin your day. When you expect people to be flawed, you won't be easily offended. If someone is rude, you'll think they must be having a rough day. If someone disappoints you, you'll say, I know they're not perfect, and that's okay. Instead of being hurt, you'll be understanding. Look at it this way. If you go outside and it starts raining, you wouldn't get mad at the sky, would you? No, because you expect that sometimes it's going to rain. In the same way, when people are imperfect, don't act surprised. Just carry your umbrella of grace and keep walking in peace. Don't let what's normal throw you off course. At the end of the day, people are going to be people. Some days they'll get it right, some days they won't. But your joy should never be dependent on how others behave. When you let go of unrealistic expectations, when you learn to love people as they are, not as you want them to be, you will live with a new level of freedom, joy, and unshakable peace. Expect imperfection, extend grace, and keep your heart light. There will always be people and situations that try to pull you into frustration, drama, and offense. Someone may be rude to you at work, a family member may criticize you, or a stranger may cut you off in traffic. If you're not careful, you'll spend your entire day reacting to things that don't deserve your attention. But here's the truth. You are too big to be bothered. You weren't created to live offended, frustrated, or caught up in little distractions. You have a purpose, a destiny, and a calling that's too great to be weighed down by petty things. Think about an eagle soaring high in the sky. You'll never see an eagle getting into fights with small birds. The eagle is too high, too powerful to be bothered. It doesn't waste its energy on distractions. In the same way you are meant to rise above, to stay focused on where you're going, not on the small things trying to pull you down. When someone says something hurtful, when a situation doesn't go your way, you have a choice. You can take the bait, get upset, and let it ruin your mood, or you can decide, I'm too big for this, my time is too valuable, my peace is too important. Not every battle is worth fighting. Some things you have to ignore, let go, and keep moving forward. One of the tricks of negativity is to keep you stuck in small conflicts. If you're constantly getting worked up over what people say, if you're spending hours replaying conversations in your mind, if you're holding grudges over things that won't matter in a year, then you're giving your energy to the wrong things. Small-minded people stay focused on small things, but you're bigger than that. Your future is too important to waste time being offended. The next time someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, then don't engage. You don't have to defend yourself every time someone misunderstands you. You don't have to correct every lie, respond to every insult, or explain yourself to people who have already made up their mind. Let it go, walk away, stay in peace. Being too big to be bothered doesn't mean you ignore everything. It simply means you choose your battles wisely. Some things are worth addressing, but most things are just distractions. The higher you go in life, the more criticism, negativity, and drama will try to pull you down. But you don't have time for that. You have a vision to accomplish, a purpose to fulfill, and a life to enjoy. So starting today, make this your mindset. I refuse to let small things steal my joy. I am too focused to be distracted, too blessed to be stressed, and too big to be bothered. When you live with that kind of strength, nothing and no one will be able to pull you into negativity. You'll walk with confidence, with peace, and with the freedom that comes from knowing you're rising higher every day. In life, you will encounter people who push your buttons. Someone will say something rude. A coworker may take credit for your work. A family member may disappoint you. In those moments, it's easy to react emotionally, to get upset, to lash out, to let frustration take over. But here's the key. You don't have to respond based on how you feel. You can respond based on who you are. When you respond in love instead of emotion, you stay in control. You stay in peace. You show strength, not weakness. Reacting emotionally is what most people do. They let anger, offense, or frustration determine their words and actions. But when you respond in love, you rise above the situation. You don't let someone else's bad attitude pull you down. You don't match their negativity with more negativity. Instead, you choose to walk in wisdom, patience, and grace. Think about how powerful this is. Someone insults you, but instead of snapping back, you stay calm. Someone is rude to you, but instead of getting offended, you keep your peace. That's not weakness, that's strength. It takes more power to stay in control than to react in anger. Anyone can lose their temper. Anyone can say something they regret. But it takes real maturity to stay composed and respond in love. This doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It doesn't mean you ignore every wrong. But it does mean you respond in a way that reflects who you are, not how they are. If someone is disrespectful, you don't have to be disrespectful back. If they're unkind, you don't have to match their energy. You set the tone. You decide how you will act, no matter how they act. The next time you feel emotions rising, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is my response going to make this situation better or worse? Am I reacting out of frustration or am I responding with wisdom? Do I want to prove a point or do I want to protect my peace? Many times, the best thing you can do is simply stay quiet, walk away, or respond with kindness. When you respond with love, you disarm the situation. The other person expects a reaction. They expect you to get upset, to argue, to fight back. But when you stay calm, when you respond with grace, it takes the power away from their negativity. It shifts the atmosphere. They can't argue by themselves. They can't control you because you've already decided that you won't be moved by emotions. At the end of the day, you can't control how people treat you, but you can always control how you respond. You don't have to let their actions dictate your emotions. You don't have to let temporary frustration lead to permanent damage. When you make the choice to respond with love, you walk in freedom, in strength, and in the kind of peace that no one can take from you. There will be times in life when you are mistreated, overlooked, or falsely accused. People may spread lies about you, take advantage of your kindness, or try to block the good things coming your way. Your natural instinct may be to defend yourself, to prove them wrong, or to get even. But here's the truth. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to straighten everyone out. You don't have to waste your energy trying to convince people who are determined to misunderstand you. Let God fight your battles. When you try to handle things in your own strength, you may win the argument, but you'll lose your peace. You may prove your point, but it will drain you emotionally. Some battles aren't meant for you to fight. They are meant for you to let go and trust that God sees everything and He will make it right. He is your defender, your vindicator, and your protector. Nothing anyone does against you goes unnoticed. When you step back, you allow Him to step in. Think about a courtroom. If you were falsely accused of something, you wouldn't try to argue your own case. You would hire a skilled attorney to represent you. In the same way, God is your advocate. He sees every wrong, every injustice, every unfair situation. When you stop fighting in your own strength and put the situation in His hands, you'll see Him work things out in ways you never imagined. He can change people's hearts. He can open doors no one can shut. He can bring justice in ways that are far greater than anything you could do on your own. The problem many of us have is that we don't know how to be still. We want to get involved. We want to tell people off. We want to prove we're right. But there is power in staying quiet and letting God do the work. When you resist the temptation to engage in drama, when you refuse to lower yourself to the level of those attacking you, you are showing true strength. Sometimes the best thing you can do is smile, walk away, and say, God, I trust you to handle this. A great example of this is David in the Bible. Before he became king, he was pursued by King Saul, who was jealous of him and wanted to kill him. David had opportunities to retaliate, but instead he said, I will not touch God's anointed. In other words, he refused to fight a battle that wasn't his to fight. He let God handle it, and in the end, Saul was removed, and David took his rightful place as king. If David had taken matters into his own hands, he would have delayed his destiny. The same is true for you. If you stay in peace, if you let God be your defender, He will make sure justice is served. The people who try to discredit you will eventually be exposed. Those who try to harm you will have to answer for their actions. You don't have to waste your energy fighting battles that are beneath you. Stay focused on your purpose. Keep your heart pure and trust that God is working behind the scenes. Let this be your new mindset. I'm not going to get caught up in battles that don't matter. I'm not going to waste my energy trying to prove myself. I will stay in peace and let God fight for me. When you live this way, you will walk in a new level of freedom. You'll have more energy, more joy, and more clarity because you're not distracted by things that don't deserve your attention. You're trusting that the one who created you is also the one who will protect and fight for you. People will say things about you that aren't true. They will criticize, judge, and misunderstand you. Some will try to belittle you, make you feel small, or remind you of your past mistakes. If you're not careful, you'll let their words take root in your heart. You'll replay the offense over and over, allowing it to steal your joy and confidence. But here's the key. You don't have to let it stick. What people say about you doesn't define you. What God says about you does. Negative words are like mud. Someone can throw them your way, but you decide whether you let them stick or shake them off. When you dwell on hurtful words, when you let them take root in your spirit, you give them power over you. Instead, make a decision. I'm not carrying around that negativity. I know who I am. I know my worth. I'm going to shake it off and keep moving forward. Think about a duck in the water. No matter how much rain falls or how many waves crash, the water just rolls off its back. Why? Because its feathers are coated with oil that makes it waterproof. You need to be like that duck. When negativity comes, when someone tries to bring you down, when a coworker is rude, when a friend betrays you, you need to have a spiritual coating where it just rolls right off. Don't let it get in your spirit. One of the biggest traps is taking offense. Someone hurts your feelings, and instead of letting it go, you hold on to it. You nurse it, rehearse it, and let it take up space in your mind. But offense doesn't hurt the other person. It only weighs you down. Don't give people that kind of control over you. Their opinion doesn't determine your destiny. Their words don't define your future. You're too valuable, too important, and too strong to let negativity cling to you. Jesus was criticized, mocked, and falsely accused, yet He didn't let it stick. He didn't waste time trying to convince people who were determined to misunderstand Him. He didn't let their insults change who He was. Instead, He kept His focus on His mission. That's the same attitude you need to have. Some people will never approve of you, no matter what you do. Some people will always find something to criticize. That's not your problem, it's theirs. Let it go and move forward. The next time someone says something negative, don't absorb it. Reject it. When a rude comment comes your way, remind yourself, that's their opinion. not my reality. If someone speaks against you, say in your heart, I don't accept that. I know who I am. You can't stop people from talking, but you can stop their words from affecting you. At the end of the day, your peace is too valuable to let negativity take up space in your mind. Let their comments go in one ear and out the other. Don't let bitterness take root. Don't let offense weigh you down. When you learn to shake things off quickly, you'll walk in a new level of joy, confidence, and freedom. You'll rise higher because you're not carrying around what was never meant to stick to you. It's easy to judge people based on their actions. When someone is rude, when they let us down, when they don't treat us the way we expect, our natural reaction is to get frustrated. We think, how could they do that? Why are they so inconsiderate? But here's the key. People are not perfect. Just like you have bad days, just like you make mistakes, others do too. When you choose to see people through eyes of grace, you stop reacting to every little offense. You realize that people are fighting battles you can't see. If you knew that the coworker who snapped at you this morning just found out their child is sick, you wouldn't take their attitude personally. If you knew the driver who cut you off in traffic just lost their job, you wouldn't get so upset. Many times, people's actions have nothing to do with you and everything to do with what they're going through. When you learn to see people through eyes of grace, you don't hold on to offense. You don't take things personally. Instead, you respond with patience, kindness, and understanding. The truth is, everyone is carrying something. Some people are dealing with heartbreak. Some are battling depression. Some are under financial pressure. When they act out, it's often not because they're bad people. It's because they're hurting. Hurt people hurt people. Instead of being quick to judge, be quick to extend grace. You may be the only kindness they experience that day. Think about how much grace you need in your own life. There are times when you're tired and you snap at someone. There are days when you forget an important commitment. There are moments when you don't show up as your best self. If we need grace, shouldn't we be willing to give it to others? The same way God overlooks our mistakes, we should be willing to overlook the mistakes of others. This doesn't mean you let people mistreat you. It doesn't mean you ignore unhealthy behavior, but it does mean you don't hold on to bitterness, resentment, or offense. You let things go quickly. You assume the best in people instead of assuming the worst. When someone disappoints you, instead of thinking, they don't care about me, try thinking, maybe they're going through something difficult. That shift in perspective will keep you at peace. Jesus gave grace to the people who least deserved it. He forgave those who crucified him. He showed mercy to those who failed. He extended love when others expected judgment. If we want to live in peace, we have to do the same. We have to be people who are quick to forgive, quick to show kindness, and quick to see the best in others. The next time someone offends you, ask yourself, how would I want to be treated if I were in their shoes? Instead of reacting in frustration, respond with grace. Instead of being offended, choose to be understanding. Instead of focusing on people's flaws, focus on their potential. When you live with a heart full of grace, you'll stay in peace. You'll avoid unnecessary conflict, and you'll rise above the negativity around you. Your peace is one of the most valuable things you have. It's what keeps you steady when life gets chaotic. It's what allows you to stay joyful even when things don't go your way. But here's the key. Peace doesn't just happen. You have to protect it. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your heart and mind. Just like you wouldn't let a thief walk into your house and steal your valuables, you can't let people, circumstances, or negativity steal your peace. There will always be opportunities to get upset. Someone will be rude to you. A family member will say something hurtful. Plans won't go the way you expected. If you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life reacting, giving your peace away to things that don't deserve it. But when you see your peace as a treasure, you become more selective. Not everything is worth your attention. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every offense is worth holding on to. Imagine you're holding a priceless diamond in your hands. Would you let just anyone take it from you? Would you casually toss it around? Of course not. You would protect it, guard it, keep it safe. That's how you need to treat your peace. Don't let just anything steal it. Don't let a stranger in traffic, a negative coworker, or a temporary disappointment rob you of something so valuable. One of the biggest ways people lose their peace is by allowing negative thoughts to take over. Worry, fear, and stress are peace stealers. You start thinking about everything that could go wrong, everything that's out of your control, everything people have done to you, and before you know it, your peace is gone. That's why the Bible says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. What you focus on will either protect your peace or destroy it. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control what you allow inside you. When negative thoughts come, replace them with faith. When people try to bring drama into your life, step away. When situations don't go your way, remind yourself, this may not be what I planned, but I trust that everything is working for my good. That mindset will keep you calm in the middle of the storm. Another way to protect your peace is to set boundaries. Some people thrive on negativity. They always have drama, always complain, always bring bad energy. If you're not careful, their negativity will seep into your spirit. It's okay to love people from a distance. It's okay to say, I care about you, but I can't let your negativity affect my peace. You weren't created to be a dumping ground for other people's problems. You have to protect your mental and emotional space. At the end of the day, peace is a choice. You can either let external circumstances dictate your mood, or you can decide that no matter what happens, you're going to stay in peace. When you live this way, you won't be easily shaken. You won't be at the mercy of people's actions. You'll walk with a sense of calm, confidence, and strength because you know that your peace is too valuable to give away. Life will always give you reasons to be discouraged. There will always be challenges, unexpected setbacks, and people who don't treat you right. If you wait for everything to be perfect before you decide to be happy, you'll be waiting your whole life. Joy is not found in perfect circumstances. Joy is a choice. It's something you have to stay full of, something you have to protect, something you have to stir up on the inside. Too many people live in a state of almost happy. They think, I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll have joy when I meet the right person. I'll feel fulfilled when my problems are solved. But the truth is, joy is not in the future. It's available to you right now. If you don't learn to be joyful where you are, you won't be joyful when you get where you're going. There will always be something else to wait for, something else to worry about, something else that's not quite right. You have to make a decision. I'm not going to let what I don't have keep me from enjoying what I do have. You may have some struggles, but you also have blessings. You may have some unanswered prayers, but you also have things to be grateful for. When you focus on the good, joy begins to rise up inside you. One of the biggest joy stealers is comparison. It's easy to look at what someone else has and think, if I had their life, I'd be happy. But comparison is a lie. You don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. You don't see their struggles, their disappointments, their battles. Your joy is not in being like someone else. Your joy is in embracing the life God has given you. Another way to stay full of joy is to refuse to dwell on the negative. Your thoughts shape your emotions. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, what you don't have, who hurt you, or what didn't work out, you'll drain your own joy. But if you wake up every day saying, today is a gift, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm blessed, I have people who love me, I have opportunities ahead of me, that mindset will fill your heart with joy. Joy is also found in giving and serving. When you make life about more than just yourself, when you lift others up, when you encourage, when you give your time and energy to make a difference, you'll experience a joy that circumstances can't take away. Helping others fills your life with meaning, and meaning produces joy. At the end of the day, joy isn't based on what happens to you. It's based on how you choose to see life. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can control your attitude. When you stay full of joy, you rise above negativity. You shake off discouragement, and you become the kind of person who lights up every room you walk into. That's the power of a joyful spirit. It doesn't just change your life, it changes the world around you. My friend, life is too short to live angry, offended, or constantly bothered by what people do or say. You have a destiny to fulfill, a purpose to walk in, and a joy that no one can take away. Unless you give it to them, you weren't created to go through life weighed down by negativity, reacting to every little thing that comes your way. No, you were created to rise above, to walk in peace, to stay full of joy, and to let God fight your battles. From this day forward, make the decision, I'm not going to let people's opinions steal my joy. I'm not going to let little frustrations ruin my day. I'm not going to waste my energy on things that don't matter. Instead, you're going to guard your heart, see people through eyes of grace, and let offenses roll right off of you. You're going to protect your peace like a treasure and choose joy in every season of life. When you live this way, you'll walk in a new level of freedom. You'll sleep better at night. You'll wake up refreshed. You'll have more energy to focus on what really matters. And the best part, you'll inspire others to do the same. You'll be a light in a world full of negativity. You'll be a source of encouragement, a person who lifts others up instead of tearing them down. So go out today with your head held high, with peace in your heart, with joy on your face. Don't let anything stick to you. Don't let anyone steal what God has given you. Live in the fullness of the life you were meant to live, free, joyful, and completely unbothered.